It's another episode of Just My Take podcast. This is Dex PC5. How y'all doing today? I know it's been a while. We're going to get right into it. First, I want to thank all my return subscribers who have been listening week in and week out. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. For new subscribers, welcome to the Just My Take podcast. It's me, Dex. I talk about all things sports, pop culture, TV, business, whatever is on my mind for the current week. So this show, I kind of freestyle a little bit in terms of what I want to talk about. I'm going to really talk about two things. NFL preview. I'm going to give you my NFL predictions on what's going to happen. I know I haven't really spoken much football in the past few weeks besides Andrew Luck, but I haven't really gotten to the preview, so I'm going to get into that. And I'm going to touch upon Disney Plus versus Netflix and what I think about what's going on with these two companies and the current streaming wars that's going to happen. So let's get into it. So let's start with, let's see, should we do Disney or Netflix? Let's do Disney and Netflix first. So right now, Disney Plus, they have a new bundle package coming out. So what they're going to do is they're going to combine, there's a bundle package that will have Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and an ad-supported Hulu for $13 a month. So it's cheaper than what Netflix is currently offering right now at their popular tier. I think this Disney Plus thing is going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a real problem for Netflix, just because Disney, you're taking not only all the old school Disney content, you got Star Wars, you got Marvel, you got Pixar, you're going to have the Avengers. All that is going to be on Disney's platform. Plus you got ABC, you got ESPN Plus, so people who are into UFC, Italian soccer, I mean ESPN Plus has a lot of soccer leagues right now. All this college football. And then you still get Hulu as well, so you're going to get all these shows that from the primetime networks. It's a pretty good deal. My only concern with Disney is what new content that they're going to bring on. Of course, people love the old content. Now, recently I just finished watching the entire series of The Office. I enjoy the show very much. I think it goes down in probably top 5 favorite comedy shows of all time. It is not my favorite comedy show, though. I think a lot of Office fans would agree. Obviously, season 1 was kind of the show trying to find its footing. And then season 8 and season 9 were not that good. Once Steve Carell left the show, it just kind of tanked from there. I don't know why the hell anyone thought Ed Helms would be a great lead actor. I know he was in The Hangover, but it's just, you just look at his career now, and Ed Helms, he's good. I think he's good as a supporting cast actor, but not a lead. And The Office quality really dipped. So I just watched The Office. In terms of all-time comedies, my favorite will always be The Martin Lawrence Show. Number 2 might be The Wayans Brothers. 3, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Married with Children. Then maybe I put The Office as number 5. I might put The Office as my fifth favorite one. But shows like The Office and Friends, their catalogs are going to be removed off Netflix come, I think, either the end of 2020 or 2021. And they're going to be going on this NBC Universal platform as well, so that's going to be a problem. Now, Netflix, why they don't pick up the Martin Lawrence Show or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or some of these other popular shows, especially urban black shows, I have no idea. I mean, I know there's catalogs like Girlfriends, Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Steve Harvey Show, the Jamie Foxx Show that are constantly on repeat on BET. I'm sure a lot of people would watch Netflix just to watch that catalog. I know I would. But Disney is a competitor for sure. Disney is a competitor. I'm trying to think, do they got anything hot right now in terms of TV shows? Not that I know of. I know they're hit. They got the Grey's Anatomy. That's still going strong for them. They got the Bachelor, Bachelorette series. Scandal ended, stuff like that. So Disney, I think, obviously is a major player in the streaming game. I am not concerned about how Disney is going to get a lot of the audience share. I think they are perfectly hitting their prime market of, say, family of 4, mom, dad, two kids. Hey, we got sports for the dad, ABC for the mom, we got Hulu for the kids, cartoons and all that stuff. I think it's a great package. Netflix, I know they first were trying to do the streaming bit. I saw reports today that they may play around with maybe dropping weekly episodes, which I think will go totally against the Netflix model. They're just known for binging. Keep it that way. I think what Netflix can gain the advantages is actually having interesting content and racy content. I'm seeing a lot of comedy specials. The Dave Chappelle one just came out, Sticks and Stones. That was hilarious. That was just Chappelle in prime form. They got Ali Wong. Eddie Murphy's gonna be doing a comedy special on Netflix. That's gonna garner a lot of generation, a lot of heat. I mean, people think Dave Chappelle's big. Eddie Murphy is on another level just because of the career of Eddie Murphy in terms of the movies and all that stuff. So you look at that, and they're racing up on the comedy. The only thing I worry about for Netflix is their TV shows. A lot of the TV shows that they started with at the beginning are now ending, which is natural because I think when it comes to TV shows that are non-cartoon form, we're talking obviously real life human beings, it is kind of hard to keep a show going after a while. It starts to get stale. I mean, look at AMC's The Walking Dead. I don't know about you. I don't know how many people are still watching The Walking Dead religiously. I remember when it first came out, people were really about it. But now I think The Walking Dead is like on almost season 11. Most of the original cast has left. Even half of the new cast has kind of left, and they keep replacing. And I don't know. It's just not interesting anymore, to me at least. So I'm looking at Netflix. And I just finished Orange is the New Black. I know I was supposed to do a show about that. But as week's gone on, I kind of dipped a little bit from it. That's my fault. But Orange is the New Black, I love the way they did the season finale. I thought it was a great show. It's probably, I would rank it in maybe my top 25 favorite shows of all time. Just the way they talk about the prison system, the immigration system, people from different backgrounds, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and really just how easy it is to almost land in jail. How like anybody, really one mistake could just easily land you in jail. And how maybe, I'm not saying that we should show compassion to killers and evil people, but I do think we might have to look into the way we treat people in jail in terms of rehab. Like there are some people in jail. There's some people in jail right now who are not even guilty of their crimes. And I don't know. I think the whole system needs to be changed. Especially right now, a lot of people are saying that it's geared. It's almost like modern day slavery, just in prison form, just because the majority of prison systems around America are black and brown because they're targeted and they're more likely to get a higher charge compared to the white counterparts. So I just thought Orange is the New Black brought a lot of that to light. Obviously, my favorite character was Taystee. And I know I'm kind of jumping around shows, but I just want to touch a little bit on Orange is the New Black. I just thought they brought it together in the season 9. The finale was special. I got emotional at the end when the actors were saying goodbye. Just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Yes, were there some seasons that were lackluster, of course, but let's be honest, I think a lot of hit shows, besides maybe Breaking Bad, where fans could say, okay, that was, that show had one season where that was a season wasn't that great. Regardless, Orange is the New Black finished. House of Cards is finished. Those were the two shows. I remember when Netflix came out, they had those two shows come out. Everybody flocked to Netflix because of those two shows. And then they had other hit shows, such as The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which I enjoyed personally. And just what I liked about Netflix was that, yes, they did do a lot of quantity. It wasn't quality. It was a lot of quantity. Sometimes it felt like it was like the Walmart of streaming. But they did bring a lot of interesting concepts, of interesting shows that you didn't see on primetime TV, that you didn't see on regular TV. So I really enjoyed it a lot. I just finished 13 Reasons Why season 3, which I thought was kind of an annoying season in terms of that main character Annie. I didn't think she was needed, but regardless, that's another hit show that's also ending season 4. So you're looking at the landscape of Netflix, and what do they really have to carry the brand? Just Stranger Things. You have Stranger Things. I mean, some will say Narcos, but I think Narcos is more of a cult niche fan base. I don't think it's as mainstream as people make it seem. I think Narcos is just kind of, if you're into, that type of stuff, you watch Narcos. And then Ozarks, which is kind of like Narcos and to a degree. But Stranger Things is really the bread and butter that's carrying Netflix, as opposed to back in the day, you had House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, 13 Reasons Why, Stranger Things, Narcos. You see where I'm going. So now I don't know the direction that Netflix is going, because a lot of people that I know kind of watch Netflix to watch The Office, to watch Friends, Parks and Rec, to watch all these catalog shows from other channels that it's on Netflix, and you could just sit there on, say, a Sunday afternoon and just binge through TV if you just want to light watch and you're just chilling. So Netflix is in trouble. I know they're doing a lot of comedy specials, but the thing is that, yeah, it's good to get the comedy specials on there, but that's not going to keep, to me, that's just not going to keep viewers long term. People, I think, are just going to be like, all right, let me watch this comedy special, then I'll cancel for the month, and that's it. Back in the day, Netflix used to kind of hook. I mean, there's a term, Netflix and chill. You go on Netflix and you just find some random thing, you just watch and you chill, and you just have fun. Now, not so much. So I think Disney represents a real threat. I think this is the beginning, turn point of the streaming wars. I know HBO is going to have this HBO Max. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of content. The one thing I give credit HBO is that they are always finding a way to bring new content. You just can't beat them in that aspect. I remember Game of Thrones. When Game of Thrones finished, I was like, damn, HBO, they might have a lull for a while. They might have a lull because Game of Thrones was a hit show and it finished. And even though I didn't like the way it ended, as many fans didn't, but still, just a great show. Probably in my top 5, maybe top 3 favorite shows of all time. So Game of Thrones ended. I'm like, damn, what's HBO going to do? But in the summer, they came with Big Little Lies and Euphoria. Euphoria is just insane. I mean, it makes 13 Reasons Why look like kindergarten, honestly. Euphoria is just multi-layered characters in high school, all these drugs and all this just craziness. I recommend watching Euphoria. It's 8 episodes, but I think you will like it a lot. And HBO is just going to keep coming with more hard-hitting content. They always do something unique and different. That's what I love about them. So you just got that. With the streaming wars, they're going to add more content. Apple TV Plus, when they come out with their stuff, they're going to have a bunch of shows with a lot of big-name actors and actresses. I just saw the trailer for Newsroom, actually. That's going to have Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston. That's going to Reese Witherspoon. That's going to be, I think, a hit show as well. I saw another one with Haley Steinfeld, where I think a lot of the teenage girls, Haley Steinfeld fans, will probably watch that show. So you got that going on. I heard NBC Universal, they're coming up with their own stuff. So in this streaming wars, I just worry, can Netflix, the ones who were the pioneers of this stuff, the ones who did the binge watching, the streaming, the pretty much, hey, you could watch shows at any time. I mean, at one point, Netflix was a direct competition with cable companies. In fact, Netflix was the reason why a lot of people cut the cord. So they were a pioneer in getting this started. I know a lot of people who cut cable because they did not want to. They're like, yo, I got Netflix, I got like Hulu and HBO, I'm good. I don't need cable. I'll watch my live sports somewhere else. And that was that. And in retaliation, companies like Comcast, they've had to kind of do these streaming type, services just to accommodate and lower their pricing just a little bit. So now all these companies have gotten in on the act, and what I worry is that it's going to be like a la carte TV, but the only problem is that people got to be careful because, you're going to have so many shows on so many different platforms, it may get to a point where it starts to look like it's your old cable bill again. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what Disney and Netflix do. Let me see. I was reading the CNET thing about Disney Plus, and they're just gonna try to add different tiers and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be interesting. November 12th is when they're releasing. I think a lot of people are gonna switch over to Disney Plus. It's gonna be a direct hit to Netflix. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, let's get into the NFL preview a little bit. We talked about Disney and Netflix a little bit. Let's get into the NFL preview. So tomorrow, NFL football starts. I didn't do a college football preview because while I will watch some games on Saturday night, maybe if I'm at the bar or whatever, just hanging out, I'll watch a few games, but I'm not going to rush to the TV because I am not confident that this year is not going to be Alabama versus Clemson again. I'm just not confident in that. I think we're going to have another championship of those two. So to me, I feel the NFL season is going to be very interesting, especially in the NFC. I think the NFC is wide open. I think the AFC, unfortunately, with Andrew Luck retiring, that takes out yet another contender to the Patriots. I think this year, for the Super Bowl, as much as I hate to say it, I think it's the Patriots again. To me, until you beat the Patriots, they're contending. You have to beat the Patriots in order to contend. So I have the Patriots again, the AFC. I think the only true contenders is the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to have that amazing season that he did last year with the 50 touchdowns, but I do think he's going to have maybe 30, 35 touchdowns. He's going to have a good year, but it's really going to come down to Chiefs, Patriots in that AFC Championship game, I believe. And it's just going to come down to, can Andy Reid work out time management? That's his Achilles heel. Andy Reid is a great coach. He'll probably go down as a Hall of Fame coach, but he's just terrible with time management, and he's just very stubborn to change his ways. For basketball fans, Andy Reid is the equivalent, is like Mike D'Antoni of the Houston Rockets. Very good offensively, but just very stubborn to change. So, I'm looking at the AFC right now. I'm looking at the standings. And a lot has changed in the past month. I gotta be honest, I have not watched preseason. I have not watched the lick of preseason. To me, it's not official football. I mean, yeah, some people get into preseason, but to me, it's just not the real starters playing. I'm ready for week 1 tomorrow. Packers versus Bears. I'm very excited to see what happens with the Green Bay Packers. Finally, we got a new coach. We got a new GM. Everything's new except Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, this is the change that Green Bay needs to get things going. I'm a little weary on the head coach because he's a rookie head coach, but they made some off-season moves, getting some defensive players. Hopefully, that can make the Packers a better team. So I'm excited for it. But the Bears, they got a hell of a defense, probably one of the best defenses in the league. But they will go as far as Mr. Trubisky goes. So Thursday night, start of football, should be very, very interesting. Anyway, let's get into the NFL a little bit. Let's see what we got here. We got the standings going on. So AFC East, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Patriots take the division. Yeah, that's all I got. Maybe the Jets might make some noise, but I'm hesitant on Sam Darnold. They got Le'Veon Bell, so that is an interesting story. They got Le'Veon Bell. I'd be very interested to see if Le'Veon Bell has a monster year, which I think will happen. And also, if Le'Veon Bell, this is one big thing I want people to remember. If Le'Veon Bell has a great season, I think it's going to spur more players to hold out and get their money. I think you're starting to see a shift in the NFL already. Where I think, I have this theory. You're not going to see as many players play into their late 30s and 40s like Rodgers and Brady's and Brees anymore. I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see examples like Andrew Luck happen more often. You're going to see players that are going to start out in the league, and if they have a monster rookie year, second year, they're going to hold out for a contract extension. They're going to do it before their rookie contract ends. And then, depending on who the player is, they're going to get that contract extension, get big money, play out that extension, see how their body is. And if they feel their body is not up to par, retire early. Maybe retire at 28, 29, 30. Yes, it's the prime of their careers. But I think that the strategy that I'm seeing coming in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, players are going to be retiring in their prime. Not because they can't play the game, but because they're walking, they're still healthy, they want to preserve their bodies, they got their money, and everyone's getting guaranteed money now. They're learning from their NBA friends, and they're like, you know what, I'm getting guaranteed money. And with guaranteed money, the incentive to play into your 30s and 40s, it goes down. Andrew Luck walked away. The Colts gave him $24 million. And that's probably on top of what Andrew Luck already has made in his career. And Andrew Luck had, beaten down and stuff. It's kind of easy to walk away from the game. I know people are going to say, oh, for the love of the game, yada, yada. Listen, these players had love for the game. They've been doing it since almost Pee-wee. And they fought and they worked hard and they got to the NFL. So for a lot of those fans who criticize and stuff like that, even me, myself, we have not put in nearly the work to try to get to the NFL like those people have. It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So to me, it's their decision if they want to retire early. There's always going to be a new player who's going to step in. That's just sports. Out with the old, in with the new. That's how it's always been. We love our legends. We respect our legends and stuff like that. But things happen. Calvin Johnson retired at age 30. Barry Sanders retired in his prime. Jim Brown. So these things happen. But I think with Le'Veon Bell, if he has a monster year, I think you're going to see more and more players hold out. You're already seeing players hold out. Zeke just got paid today. Either yesterday or today. He was holding out. Now he's the highest running back in the league. Guaranteed money. I'm also interested to see how that's going to affect the salary cap going forward. Because if you're having younger players get their contract extensions, like say Jared Goff, he just got a contract extension. He's going to make $110 million guaranteed or $100 million guaranteed. And he hasn't finished out his contract yet. So if you're having more and more younger players get their contract early instead of playing the rookie deals, how is that going to affect the teams going forward? How are you going to finagle the salary cap? It used to be, I thought the current trend was you kind of do the Seattle play, where it's like, all right, Russell Wilson was on his rookie contract. You get a lot. Well, Seattle drafted very well. Let me do the Rams. That's the better example. Goff is on his rookie contract. You spend that extra cap money on existing superstars, bring them into the team, and they made it to the Super Bowl. Now that Goff got his money, how is that going to work with the rest of the team? Could we see the NFL maybe implement a rule to kind of dissolve the hard cap that they have and maybe go more kind of like the NBA? Where it's like, hey, if you have a player that you drafted and they've been on your team for like 5-6 years, maybe you can pay them as much as you want, as long as you're willing to pay a tax. Maybe that's the way things go. My personal opinion, and I got this from Trent Dilfer, but my little brother expanded on it even more. I think there should be a rule where you're able to pay your best player any amount of money that they want, and it doesn't go against the cap. So, for example, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers is the best player, obviously. Packers can pay Aaron Rodgers what they want, but his contract does not count against the cap. It is just separate away from the cap. That way, the Packers are able to do what they want with the rest of the team, but everyone knows Rodgers is the top player. He gets the money that he makes. I think that works out for the best instead of this hard cap, because yes, it forces team to have to release players and whatnot, but it also dissolves great teams early, because look at the Cowboys right now. They paid Amari Cooper. They pay Zeke. If Dak has a hell of a year and goes to the Super Bowl, how do the Cowboys pay Dak? That's going to be very tough to let him go. So it just creates weird situations like that. There are some fans who don't care. They love it like that. Some fans, like me, I would like to see more of the teams kind of stay together and see if they can challenge. Because I think it's already hard for football teams to repeat. So I don't think it matters if you have teams that have look good on paper. Football is just it's tough to play. It's a tough game, and there's a lot of things that can come down to luck. So that's my opinion regarding the salary cap and whatnot. Anyway, going back to the division. So AFC East, we covered that Patriots are winning. AFC North, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. This is a little it's between the Steelers and Ravens for me. I think the Steelers are going to have a better year now that Bell and Brown are out of town. Ironically, I think obviously those players are great, great talents, but I just think the locker room was just divided, and its ownership is with Big Ben. So Brown and Bell are gone. I think you're going to have better harmony in the locker room with James Conner as a running back, Juju Schuster as the lead receiver. The Ravens, they got Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to have a decent year. I know everyone's very high on the Cleveland Browns. I am not. I think the Cleveland Browns, I think a successful season for them would be 8-8, maybe contending for a wild card spot in the playoffs with a few, like by week 14, maybe they're in contention. I just think we're putting too much on Baker Mayfield. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is going to have a great year. I really do think he's going to have a great year. I don't think he's going to be as dramatic as he was with the Giants. My problem is that they have a rookie head coach, and that I think could affect some things. To me, the reason why I think it's different from Green Bay is that Baker Mayfield is not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a pro. He's been in the league for a long time. So Aaron Rodgers can carry the team. He's shown time and time again he can carry the Packers. Baker Mayfield, he's young. He still gets into kind of stupid antics. And if your quarterback is not mature, it could be a problem. So I got the Browns maybe, around 8-8. So the AFC South, this changes things. Obviously, before Andrew Luck retired, I thought the Colts were going to win the division. Now that Andrew Luck is retired, I think the Colts are going to be trash. They gave Jacoby Brissett a 2-year, $30 million extension. I think that's terrible. I think they should just look for another quarterback. If I'm the Colts, I call up the New York Giants and I call Eli Manning. I call for Eli Manning. Say, hey, Eli, listen, why don't you come compete with us here in Indianapolis? Because we all know in New York, the minute Eli starts to suck, they're going to call for that Daniel Jones guy. That's just my take on it. So I don't think the Colts are going to have a good season. I think it's going to be between the Titans and Texans. It shouldn't even be close. I think the Texans, if the Texans don't win this division and get to at least the division round of the playoffs, Bill O'Brien should be fired. I think Bill O'Brien should be fired. I never had confidence in Bill O'Brien as a head coach. They just traded Clowney. I can't say his name. Clowney. But they still got J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watkins, Hopkins. They still got a decent, talented team. I just think Bill O'Brien is not the head coach for Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. I loved him in college. I think he can ball in the NFL. Bill O'Brien is just not the head coach. So I think this is a hot seat year for Bill O'Brien. If he cannot be successful, time to get rid of him. And then the West, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to run away with this division, honestly. I think the Chargers are going to have a little bit of a down year. I thought last year was a very special year for them, but Phil Rivers has gotten older. Melvin Gordon is holding out, and he may hold out for a year or get traded, and that's a big piece. So I don't see the Chargers sneaking up on anyone. I think the team that may sneak up on people is actually the Broncos. They got Joe Flacco. They still got a very decent defense. They got some weapons, Emmanuel Sanders and whatnot. I look to see the Broncos maybe sink a wild card spot with Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco being in a different environment, being under John Elway, maybe there could be some pressure for Joe Flacco to turn on and get back to what he kind of was. He was kind of a decent Pro Bowl-esque type quarterback when he was really good. I think he could do that in Denver. The Raiders, I think it's just going to be a dumpster fire. I don't know why they gave John Gruden 10 years like that. I think Antonio Brown, I was rooting for him to have a big year, but honestly, I think he's just a diva at this point with the helmet stuff. I think Derek Carr, the quarterback, it's his last year in Oakland, and I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, and I think he would benefit from going in a different situation. Heck, maybe Indianapolis should call for Derek Carr. Who knows? But I think the Raiders are just going to be a problem. I think John Gruden is just full of himself. I don't know why they got Gruden, because the Super Bowl that he won a couple years ago, it was against his old team that he just literally coached. So he knew the personnel, really. He was kind of sub 500 in his career, maybe a little bit above, but not by much. So I'm a little hesitant on them. Coming out of the AFC, I got the Patriots. I got the Patriots coming out the AFC. The only team I think could really usurp the Patriots, and I hope it will happen, but I'm not sure, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They got the firepower. They just picked up Shady McCoy. So they should be able to make some noise and maybe beat the Patriots finally, but we'll see. It's Andy Reid. That's what I'm worried about. It's Andy Reid. Anyway, we're just almost wrapping it up. We're going to talk about the NFC. NFC, I feel, is wide open. I see about 4 to maybe 6 teams that can come out the NFC this year. NFC East, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles. Before Zeke got signed, 'cause I thought Zeke was going to hold out for a year, I was going Philly. Now that Zeke is signed with the Cowboys, I may have to go with the Cowboys coming out this division. I think it's going to be neck and neck between the Eagles and Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, this may be a Super Bowl run. This might be a year they might be able to pull it together and get a Super Bowl run. But the Eagles could also have a big year. I think Carson Wentz is going to come back and prove a lot of people wrong. Hopefully, if Wentz could stay healthy, I think he still has a lot to prove. He also got a big extension too, but he hasn't won a playoff game. And I think he has to prove to Philly faithful that he can at least win a playoff game. I mean, Nick Foles went to Jacksonville and won the Super Bowl. I mean, so it's between Dallas and Philly. I'm gonna go with Dallas. NFC North, again, another tough division. I think it's gonna be a three-way race because I think all the 3 of these teams have flaws. I'm discounting the Lions because Matt Patricia, the head coach, I think he's just not good. I think he's probably going to get fired this year, honestly. Matt Patricia's not good. So I think it's a 3-team race between the Bears, the Vikings, and Packers, and they all have flaws. So it's not going to be a runaway winner in this division. I think the Bears, they can make the playoffs. They have a hell of a defense. And they're coming back with Khalil Mack as the leader. But they have Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. If Mitch Trubisky is somewhat decent this year, I think the Bears have a legit chance. But the Bears will go as far as Mitch Trubisky can take them. And I'm iffy on Trubisky. I think the Green Bay Packers, again, we don't know. I don't know what kind of Packers are going to show up. It could be the Packers of old, Aaron Rodgers flinging the ball. I think the offensively, Rodgers is going to be flinging the ball. I think we're going to have a new offense, but it's a new head coach. It's a rookie head coach, no NFL experience. I'm a little wary on that. I don't know how the defense is going to be. So it can go either way with Green Bay. And then Minnesota, on paper, good defense. Dalvin Cook, I think, is going to have a great breakout year coming off an injury, but I think Dalvin Cook is top 10 running back in the league. But Kirk Cousins, he's good enough, I think, to be 9-7 and get you a wild card spot. But is he the guy to take you to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is that guy. So I think all 3 teams is gonna be a shake 'em throughout the whole year. I got obviously personally, I got the Packers coming out the division. But if I were to say no, if I were to take the Packers out the mix, I think the Bears take the division. I think sorry, the Vikings I think take the division with the Bears being a close second. But the North is going to be tough. NFC South, another division where it can go either way. Buccaneers, Panthers, Saints, Falcons. I think the Saints, I got them coming out the NFC. I think they finally get over some of their mishaps. and get to the Super Bowl with Drew Brees. Final hurrah, trying to get that second Super Bowl win. But Carolina, Cam Newton might have a big year. Atlanta, Matt Ryan might have a big year. And then in Tampa Bay, you got Bruce Arians, who's a heck of a coach. He might be able to finally work with Jameis Winston, make him shape up or ship him out. Arians is a respected coach, so this could also be a shake 'em lead too. I got the Saints. And then I think it's gonna be the the Falcons and Panthers close by. And then lastly, NFC West. Again, NFC, just a lot of shake 'em division. I think every single division you can pick, literally 3 teams. Like you can literally pick anyone. Maybe 3 out of 4. Let's be realistic. 3 out of 4 teams. NFC West, Seahawks, Niners, Rams. I think the Cardinals are going to be terrible. Kyler Murray is going to get rocked. I think by midway through the NFL season, he's going to regret not going back to not doing the baseball decision. I think Cliff Kingsbury is just not, he should not have been the head coach. I think everyone drank the Sean McVay Kool-Aid, including Green Bay, and I think that's going to hurt a lot of football teams. It's going to hurt a lot of football teams. But the Cardinals, I think they're not going to do well. It leaves the other 3 teams. I think the Rams are going to get back to form. I know they lost in the Super Bowl, but I think they'll have enough motivation to get back. The Seahawks with Russell Wilson, I can't count them out because Russell Wilson. I just can't count them out because of Russell Wilson. He got his extension. He's good. And then the Niners, they could be that surprise team. They can give a lot of teams a run for the money. Jimmy G is coming back from injury. They got Greg Kittle. This could be a team that could surprise a lot of people and make it to the playoffs. For the West, I'm sticking with the Rams, but I would not be surprised if the Niners or Seahawks win this division. So my Super Bowl pick for now, I would love Green Bay to win the Super Bowl. I would love to see Packers Patriots just so I can see Rodgers versus Brady in the Super Bowl one time in my lifetime. But if not, I think Brady versus Drew Brees would be a pretty good outcome as well. So that's it for my NFL picks. What else is happening? I think that's it so far. Yeah, so that's it for NFL picks. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been another episode of Just My Take podcast. I know it's kind of a short episode, but I want to get an episode out before football starts tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy this weekend. I think it's gonna be a pretty big weekend. Obviously, NFL football starting. Soccer is kind of going right now. You got the UFC fight. Khabib is going to be fighting this weekend. LSU and Texas in college football. That's going to be a big college football. So, one thing I love about the fall is all the sports seasons come back. You still got baseball. The chase for the World Series is coming. Again, the playoff race is kind of going. So, I'm going to start to pay a little bit more attention to that. I do love playoff baseball. So, September leading in October is a great time for sports fans. NBA is going to be starting up soon. NHL is going to be starting up soon. So, let's enjoy the fall. Let's enjoy these sports. Football is back. This has been another episode of Just My Take podcast. This is Dex PC5. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode. I may drop another one on Sunday. I might do an NFL review show either Sunday or Monday. I might start doing that as well. I'll see. And yeah, fans of the show, let me know what you think about the shows. I got a new microphone, so the audio should be better. Send me a DM. I really want to hear more feedback from the fans on what they think about the show. Do you want me to just do single topic? Do you like me doing multiple topic? Some weeks I'm not really sure, so I just kind of go with what I think is best. But I would like to know what you all think. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify. I'm also on YouTube, so I'm uploading on YouTube more. So check it out. Just My Take podcast YouTube page. I'm gonna update every latest show. So once I'm done with this episode, I'm gonna put it on YouTube as well. So check me out there. Tell your friends and family. You can find me on all podcasts and platforms. Everyone, enjoy your weekend. Let's enjoy some football. And remember, everyone, whether you agree or disagree, it's just my take. Peace.